my channel. So today I'm going to show you how I created this peachy pink makeup look to go with my new hair. So I had lots of questions on Instagram asking how I created the peachy pink makeup look that I posted to debut my new hair. So I thought I'll show you that today. So on Instagram my hair looked more pinky to be honest, but in real life I'd say it looks more peach. On camera it kind of looks a bit of both. That is because I mixed pink and peach together to create this colour. This is something that I've been doing with my hairdresser for a while. So obviously I'm normally blonde, but you can see my roots are pretty crazy. So to take the attention off the roots, I thought I would give my hair some colour. So that's what we normally do when my roots are getting really bad, but I don't want to keep dyeing my hair and bleaching it I guess so often. So this is how I kind of prolong the blonde in my hair. It gets me through a little while. Obviously it makes your hair more orangey toned naturally, but you just tone that with your hairdresser. So this look is very similar to the look that I posted on Instagram. That look was very popular, so thanks so much for everyone for messaging me and stuff and saying they like my new hair. It's so easy to do. I actually vlogged part of it, like I kind of talked through what I'd done, so that'll be up maybe next week, so you can have a look at how I did it there. So if you want to see how I created this look, just keep watching. So I'm firstly starting off with a New Skin Hydrating Face Mist. So I've already applied my moisturiser, and I just like to spray this before I apply my foundation, just to make a nice smooth hydrated base. Now I'm using the Cover FX Blurring Primer, just around the nose and the chin, maybe the forehead where I have open pores and I tend to get quite oily. So now for the base, I'm using the It Cosmetics CC Cream and the By Terry CC Brightening Serum in a Sunny Flash. So I'm just mixing those together. So the By Terry Serum gives a nice glowy, hydrated finish to the skin. And because I have tan on at the moment, it also allows me to darken up that CC cream slightly to match my nice new tan. Now here I'm using more of the By Terry CC Serum to slightly darken up the foundation a little bit more. Now as always I'm using the Bobbi Brown corrector under the eyes. I'm using the light peach shade just to neutralise any purple tones under the eyes. Then on top I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer just to highlight the centre of the face. And then I'm also taking Nars Cream Concealer in the shade Ginger, where I have some blemishes and maybe some scars. And I'm just blending that in with my foundation brush. Then for the concealer on the eyes, I'm using a little mini beauty blender. So this is going to act as an eye base rather than using a separate eye primer. Next, I'm applying the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer in Deep Neutral as a cream contour. So this looks very dark, but when you apply it directly over your foundation, it blends really well if you use the same foundation brush as well. So again, this just gives more colour to the skin and more of that 3D look. So when we use foundation, it often knocks all of the colour out of your face, so you need something like this and blusher just to bring some life back to the skin. Now to add a glow, I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wand in Spotlight. So this is a nice cream liquid highlight, and I'm using a small clean brush for this, just to blend that on top of where I've applied the cream contour. Next I'm going to set the skin with powder, so I'm using the Mericer translucent powder, and for under the eyes and around the nose I'm using a small fluffy brush, so I can be really precise with the powder and make sure these areas are very well set. Then to set the cream contour and add more warmth to the skin, I'm using the NYX Deep Tan Bronzer, just on the cheeks and around the nose to add depth to these features. Now for blush, I'm using the Benefit Galifornia blush. So this is a nice peachy tone, and again it's going to tone in nicely with my hair and the eyeshadow. Then I'm using the NYX Matte Setting Spray. So this is going to help the makeup stay on all day and also help our highlighter stick. So here I'm using the Illamasqua Omg highlighter. Now to create a fluffy brow, I'm using the Pink Honey Brow Gel. So I'm just spraying a spoolie with water and swirling the brush in the pot. Then I'm brushing that through the eyebrows and pressing down the hairs with my finger. This is going to make the eyebrows look super thick and fluffy. And then I'll zoom you in a little bit so you can see closer. So this works really amazing for me, having thin brows. It's the only brow gel really that actually manages to keep the hairs up throughout the day and makes my eyebrows look thicker than any other product ever has. So I'm in love with it at the moment. Then I'm just carving out where I want my eyebrows to start underneath using a concealer and a flat edge brush. So this just helps create a little line which I can use as a guide when I'm filling in the eyebrows. So this just highlights any areas that need to be filled in at the beginning of the eyebrow especially. Just here you can see I'm going in with the Primark brow pencil in dark brown, and I kind of have a hook brow shape to my eyebrows, so I like to give the illusion that the eyebrows start at the same point at the beginning. So it's almost like creating a line going from the beginning of the eyebrow to under the arch, where I also define with the pencil. Then lastly, I add some of the pencil to the tail of the eyebrows, just to make them stand out a little bit more and elongate the eyebrow. So now I'm taking the same NYX bronzer I used on my cheeks onto the eyes. So I'm blending that on the eyes with a fluffy blending brush just on the lid. So this warm brown shade is going to make my blue-green eyes really stand out well, and also complements the colours I've used on the cheeks and my hair and what I'm going to use on the lips. So don't worry, I'm not leaving the eyeshadow like that. This is also a great day-to-day makeup because you're using the same bronzer you've used on the cheeks. It's super easy and quick. And then in a second I'm going to add a little bit of pop of colour just to glam it up slightly. So make sure you blend this out really well before the concealer has time to dry, otherwise it's going to set and stay in that line and look very unblended. Now I'm taking the Huda Beauty Ruby Obsessions palette and using the peach shade through the crease. So I'm just blending that slightly over the edge of the bronzer that we used and slightly above the crease, just to bring that shadow up and out to kind of diffuse it out and smoke it out. And it's going to give a lovely peach finish without having to apply that peach all over the eye, which would be a lot stronger of course. So this just keeps it more for daytime and a bit softer. Now I'm taking the shimmery peach shade from that palette and popping it in the centre of the eyes. Make sure you obviously use hand sanitizer before touching your eyes, or even better, wash your hands. So I tried to apply this colour with a brush before and it just didn't work. The best way if you want to use a brush is to pop the eyeshadow on the brush, then spray it with a setting spray or even water, and that makes the eyeshadow stick more when you're using a shimmer. This doesn't work unfortunately when you use matte shades, just shimmers. So then just take the original fluffy brush we used on the eyes and just blend the edges slightly as well. So you want everything to merge together and be super soft and diffused looking. So this is how the eyes are looking up close. Then I'm using the MAC Costa Riche eyeliner pencil and just running that along the lash line for a soft liner effect. This eyeliner really complements blue and green eyes well again because it has a little bit of warmth to it and is not as harsh as a black. Now I'm blending that liner out with a slanted edge brush similar to something you'd use for your eyebrows. So this just creates a soft winged liner effect and is just super natural. Now I'm applying the MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash Mascara. I like using this on the bottom lashes particularly. Now for the top lashes I'm using the Too Faced Better Than Sex Mascara as always. This is my favourite for the top lashes because it's very volumizing and it works well on my quite thick long eyelashes. Now I'm applying the same NYX bronzer I used on the cheeks and on the eyelids under the eyes with a small kind of definer brush. Then applying the peach shade from the Huda Beauty palette on the edges and just smudging it out just with a slightly bigger fluffier brush and just winging it out at the edge to lift it up and diffuse it out. Now I'm taking the Urban Decay Midnight Cowboy eyeshadow and popping that in the inner corner just to add a little bit extra sparkle. Then I'm lining the lips with the Charlotte Tilbury Hot Gossip liner, one of my favourites. So this is quite a dark liner and I often just wear it around the edges and blend it into my finger, kind of in place of lipstick. Then finally I'm using the Revolution lip gloss in RBF, so this is a nice pigmented coral gloss. And that's the finished look. So it's super easy, nice and natural, quite wearable, and the skin is very glowy but then matte in the centre, which is always what I like. And I do love a bit of blush to be honest, so I would say this is quite a monochromatic look in makeup artistry terms, so all the tones work well together. So I've got a kind of peachy blush, peachy lip and peachy pinky eyes with a bit of brown, so again everything works tonal wise to tone in with my new hair. So as always, don't forget to follow me over on Instagram. It's Danielle Dickson MUA. There you'll be able to see all my makeup artistry works on my clients who I miss dearly. I've been loving chatting to you guys on Instagram and I miss you all so much. If any of you recreate this look, don't forget to tag me on Instagram so I can see your photos. I love when you send me them, it's so fun to see you recreate my looks. And as well, don't forget to subscribe and I'll see you next time. Bye!